is an unequivocal yes. Do workers working during this pandemic deserve and need all the protection that they can possibly get? I'm talking masks, I'm talking gloves, being able to sterilize with sprays or wipes. Yes, they deserve it. Any company having people work, essential, non-essential, supply it. It shouldn't be a question. It should be automatic. The one where it starts getting dicey, and I'm not even going to say dicey because I can see both sides quite easy because I'm working and grateful for it. Hazard pay. Do people who are working, we're not even going to talk about the first responders in healthcare. They deserve much, much more than we are giving them, that the government is giving them. I'm not saying we as the public, we're appreciative of them. The government and the facilities there, they're not doing enough to and for the workers there. At large, the workforce, I'm talking about those that will say Amazon. I'm going to talk about all the clerks, workers at grocery stores, Kroger's, Trader Joe's, Fry's, you name it. The people who work there, do they deserve hazard pay? Some people are going to say no, they should be thankful that they have a job because other people are out of a job. And that is true, and I'm sure those people are grateful for their jobs. But at the same time, I had never ever thought that I would see the day that working at Walmart would become hazardous pay. And when you think about it, they do deserve something. Because other jobs where you can work from home, you don't have to worry about the public at large. Joe Public, the guy who doesn't know he has it, showing no symptoms, coughing or sneezing in public, and the worker, and I'm just going to take Walmart for instance, any grocery store, the grocery store clerk, they have to be there. They have bills to pay. So therefore they are exposed. They can't just say, no, I don't want to work here. Some do say that, and hopefully they're protected. But most of us have bills to pay. And so they go to work, they put on their masks, they put on their gloves. Why? To protect themselves from you as well as to protect you from themselves. Should they get hazard pay? I'm going to say yes. And I strongly believe it, whether you believe it or not. That is true, you're right. But these people are risking their lives to serve us, to serve the public, to do their civil duties. No, this wasn't the armed forces where you have a choice and elected to sign up and maybe get shipped off to war. These are people trying to pay their mortgages, their car payments, their health insurance. And they are submitted and subjected to all kinds of you know and I don't know what. So yeah, I'm going to say they should. So here's the rub. Where does that money come from? The companies should pay for it. But the thing is, if the companies pay for it, who are they going to pass on those extra costs to? They are going to pass that on to us, the general public. What I think should happen, now mind you, I don't have all the solutions. There's much smarter people out there. There are people that are in Congress, our government. They need to figure this out. They get paid the big bucks by lobbyists and everybody else. The stimulus package was okay, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So the stimulus package gave money to people and gave money to businesses. These businesses should get an additional amount of money specifically for giving the employees of said corporation raises or hazard duty pay. It should not come upon Joe Public or Josephine Public for us to pay for that because we know the corporation isn't trying to lose money. Now, mind you, they might be struggling. Some are, mom and pop stores especially. But the big corporations, they have money. But they aren't going to try to go into their pocket. They want to reach into my pocket your pocket. They don't want to absorb that cost. The government, and this isn't about Republican or Democrat, this is about citizens of the United States of America, supposedly the greatest country in the world. And I'm not knocking it. I will knock the fact that I don't feel that our government is doing enough to protect us. Protect the workers, please. Something should be done for the health workers, the doctors, the nurses, literally the front line. They are, because they are putting their lives on the line to treat those of us who are failing in health and or dying. I don't know the solution. Maybe it's forgive some of their student loans, give them hazard pay. I don't know. Smarter people come up with a solution. Reward the people who are risking their sanity, their lives, and their families for all of us. Once again, as Spock would say, the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few. But there's still a lot of few people. When I say I'm disappointed in our government not protecting us, so I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about as we're all struggling, we're one down to one income here. Still grateful to be working. No ifs, ands, and buts. Other people have no incomes. So, listening to NPR, I was astounded. The article was about trying to get forgiveness from mortgage. And it's absurd. And I don't know if you've ever actually contacted your mortgage people, and I would encourage you to do so because you may not need it right now, but if this thing does go on, you may want to know what your options are, and the only way to fight this before it's too late is to launch an offensive about this. And what I'm going to tell you is shocking, and it is absolutely damning. So I called my mortgage company, and just to see what my options were if we needed when things got hard. And I'm listening to it, and what they said is the most damning and absurd thing that I can think about. On the prompt, it says, if you were having struggles due to the pandemic, what you can do, your option is, they didn't give any other option. You can ask us to forego payments for up to 180 days. It's either 3 months or 6 months. I don't remember. I believe it was 3 months. You can forego payments for up to 3 months. At the end of said duration, you have to pay in everything in full. That's asinine. I can't make my payments now, not saying me, but Sally Smith can't make her payments now because of hardships. So for 1 month, we'll just say $1,000 mortgage. Let's just keep it easy. $1,000 here, 3 months down the road, $3,000, things finally are coming out. Sally now owes a balloon payment of $3,000. Or she goes into maybe default. Or you can work out structured payments, allegedly, to figure this out. But they have the right to restructure your mortgage however they see fit in a lot of ways. So when I say the stimulus package was, the $1,200 per person, if you had filed previously, especially electronic, you got it. $1,200 doesn't cover most people's mortgages. It doesn't. So where is the help? If the government, and once again, I don't have a solution, I'm going to circle back to that. But if the government really wants to help out the public, and they want to help this recession help this economy not go completely into the tank, how about let's not create another real estate bubble or pop? I will say just whole. Because too many people during this pandemic are going to fall behind. And they're not going to be able to make a balloon payment at the end. How about we give some help to everybody, especially not the corporations? Because B of A, got in their bailouts. We see what they do to us. They don't care about us. But at the same time, they're the ones that got bailed out before. How are we supposed to pay if we don't have the money to begin with? So at that point in time, it becomes more of a depression. So people are going to lose their houses. People are going to lose their minds. That's where I say I don't think that the government is doing enough to protect us. People are going crazy about the government not letting certain places saying, let us back in, ease up on the restrictions. Most of the people aren't asking for easing up on the restrictions so they can party and go wild. Some are. But to be honest, I truly believe most people are looking for the ease on the restrictions because people, they need money because the bills ain't stopping and the government's not doing nothing to stop that. They still want that mortgage at the end of the month. 30th or the 1st, they want it. That car bill is still due. Some people were doing some of the right things. But enough of the corporations, bigger corporations, aren't because people aren't making a stink about it. And you won't know until it's too late that it might affect you. I don't have the solutions, people. I don't. But I say yes, that the workers have a right to be protected. I say yes, that they probably should get a little bit extra for risking their lives and the lives of their families. And yes, it should not come out of our pocket. Don't pass it on to us. I'm advocating for this. I'm advocating for the blue-collar person. I'm a blue-collar person myself, even if this collar is white. I like this shirt a lot. I'm advocating for the little guy. Because bottom line is, if you look at the pyramid, there's more little people, even if the majority of the wealth is controlled by those at the top. There are more little people down here than there are up there. And if we don't look out for one another, and I'm not saying a revolution, I'm not trying to get in any trouble, but at the same time, we need to become aware, we need to look out for one another. United we stand, divided we fall. And if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. Yes, rhetoric, I know. Tell us something we don't know. You already know it, but do something about it. I've pined on long enough. Look out for one another. Look out for yourselves. Know what your options are before you get to that point. Please. I'm truly striving for progress, not perfection. I hope you are too. Have a blessed day. Condolences to anybody that's lost somebody during this time. Prayers to everybody in the world. I'm going to circle back. I'm striving for progress, not perfection. I hope you are too. Have a blessed day. Until next time, everybody. Peace.